It is my privilege to be here this evening with Jackma, one of the great entrepreneurs of our time, of course, the founder of Alibaba. And we have so many things to talk about over the next half an hour. And of course, we also want to try to get to your questions as well. We're going to talk about Alibaba, of course, but also China, the Trump world that we all live in, globalization, trade, and so many other issues. But first of all, thank you, for joining us. Yeah. Let me start with this, which is to say that you just spent some time inside Trump Tower and went to go visit with Donald, our president-elect in the United States. Tell us about that meeting.
Well, it's a very productive meeting, much better than I thought, than I expected.
What did you expect?
Well, I heard a lot, and I watched, like everybody, I watched all the news and heard a lot about him. So when I go inside, I saw, anything that, but he's very sort of open-minded, listen what I talk. So I think I'm very happy about results. And finally, when he said, he said, Jack, let me walk you down. So it seems he's very happy about the results we had.
Can I ask, how does a meeting like that happen? Do you call him? Does he call you? Well, how does this take place?
Well, that's the question I'm asking myself. Because someday I got some requests from people say, Jack, do you want a meeting the president-elect? I say, is that true or not? Because I'm not ready for that. Because I don't know what to talk about. And then a few days later, I got another request. I got several requests, and then I saw one email with a friend, and it's very sort of specific. I thought about it. I think, yes, maybe I should go and have a talk. And at least I think President-elect Donald Trump would be happy to hear what I want to talk about. So I went.
And what did you tell him?
Talk about the small business, talk about agriculture products, talk about the trade between China and the USA. We especially focus on telling about how can we bring the small business in America, sell them to China, to Asia, through our network, which can create a lot of jobs for them.
And you committed to create what you say is going to be 1 million jobs in the United States over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Now, that's not 1 million jobs that Alibaba itself, but you're not hiring 1 million people.
No, we all totally, Alibaba employee put together is like 45,000 people. We cannot hire 1 million. I cannot imagine I can manage 1 million people.
Explain to us how you think about the U.S.-China relationship, given some of the comments that Donald Trump has made about China being a currency manipulator. Did that come up during your meeting?
Well, I think first, in America, there's a freedom of speech, right? So he can say whatever he wants, and I respect, I understand. But of course, I have my views. We did not debate about the China-U.S. trade or manipulation. We did not debate. We did not talk. We agreed on something. Small business, developing the Midwest America, helping the farmers there, small business there, exporting to China. So we all agreed. But something that we did not discuss about the American the job losing to China, Mexico, and this. Can I share with you my ideas?
Please.
Yeah. First, I think 30 years ago, when I just graduated from universities, I heard America had a wonderful strategy. They outsource the manufacturing job, service jobs. They outsource the manufacturer to Mexico and China, outsource the service job to India. There's a book called The World is Flat.
Tom Friedman, colleague at the New York Times.
And I think it's a perfect strategy. You know, that the Americans said, we just want to control the IP, we just want technology, we just want the brand, and leave the lower-end jobs for the world. Great strategy. And second is that the American international companies made millions and millions of dollars from globalization. The top 100 companies in America. Amazing. I remember when I graduated from university, I tried to buy a beeper, the Motorola beeper. Cost me $250. My pay at that time is $10 a month as a teacher. And the cost of making that beeper is only $8 for a chip.
Right.
So past 30 years, IBM, Cisco, Microsoft, they made tons of money. The profit they made are much more than the 4 largest banks in China put together, the China Mobile Phone, China Unicom, and whatever you name it, put together. Still, these multinational companies made more money than. So their market cap grew more than 100 times in the past 30 years. But where'd the money go? This is what I'm curious, because as a business people, I always care about the balance sheet. Where's the money coming? Where'd the money go? Past 30 years, the American had 13 wars, spending $14.2 trillion. The money going there. What if they spend a part of that money on building up the infrastructure, helping the white collars and the blue collars? No matter how strategy good it is, you're supposed to spend money on your own people, right? Not everybody can pass Harvard. Like me, they're not good at education, right? We should spend money on those people who are not good at schooling. And the other money, which I'm curious about, is that when I was young, I heard America is about Ford and Boeing, those big manufacturing companies. Last 10, 20 years, I heard about is Silicon Valley and Wall Street. The money go to the Wall Street. And what happened? Year 2008. The financial crisis wiped out $19.2 trillion USA alone. They wiped out all the white collars and destroyed 34 million jobs globally. So what if the money is not Wall Street? What if the money spent on the Middle East, Middlewest of the United States, developing the industry there? That could be changed a lot. So it's not the other countries steal jobs from you guys. It is your strategy.
Okay,
but you do not distribute the money and things in a proper way. This is what I.
And now we're having a backlash. And that backlash is a rebuke of globalization. And so much of the conversation, frankly, that we have here, and that backlash is happening in the United States. But I will say President Xi was here yesterday. You had lunch with him. And he was quoting Abraham Lincoln. What did you make of that?
Well, I would say that globalization is a great stuff. It's the USA, it's developed countries to teach us how to do globalization. I remember 2002 or 1 before China joined the WTO, everybody in China was worried. Me, I was worried. Because what if all the international products come to China, destroy our industry, and we have to lose a job? So convinced China, after 20 years, then you guys are say, this is a terrible thing. I believe globalization is good, but globalization needs to be improved. This is Donald Trump, President-elect, want to solve it, the problems. That globalization, I think, should be inclusive globalization. In the past 30 years, the globalization was controlled by 60,000 big companies. 100 years ago, globalization was controlled by several kings and emperors. What if next 30 years we can support 6 million business doing business across the board? What if in next 30 years we can help support 20 million small business can do business across the board? So this is something which I believe globalization should be inclusive.
And do you think that the words of President Xi will happen in reality, which is to say that China has largely acted on its own behalf for many, many years, and now is effectively saying that the U.S. needs to continue acting on everybody else's behalf?
Yeah, I think, the world needs some, such a, Mr. Xi yesterday said, it's a wonderful time, it's a best time, or the worst time. The world needs a new leadership, but the new leadership is about working together. This is what I understand. We do not necessarily need one specific leader to teach us what to do, what not to do. But the world have to partner together. This is what I think. And I think as a Chinese, as a business people, I feel proud for what President Xi said yesterday. As a business person, I want the world to share the prosperity together, to join the force together. As a Chinese, I'm happy about what he committed. Yesterday he said, he speaks like us, takes the responsibility of the second largest economy. As the China's second largest economy, he has to take some responsibility. This is the first time I heard a Chinese leader make number commitment. He said, next 10 years, we are going to import 8 trillion US dollars. This make me feel excited because China is transforming from exporting to importing. If there's a concrete number, if we can fulfill it, this is going to be huge change to the China and to the world.
But don't you think that it's easier today for China to be interested in globalization because of the benefits that can accrue to China because you're continuing to develop than it is for countries that are, quote unquote, developed?
Well, first, the WTO rule is not designed by China. It's not made by China. I would say there's something that I want to change. The WTO is designed, a lot of rules designed for big companies in the past 30 years, and only big companies can do it. And China definitely benefit a lot from opening. I think China should learn one thing, that we grow in the past 30 years. It's because we open to the world. If we continue to open to the world,
not fully.
Okay.
An American business that wants to effectively go into business in China has a very difficult time, has to partner effectively with a company that's there already.
This is why I said China has problems too. The world has problems. And China definitely has a lot of problems. China should open, should be more confidence. This is what I feel yesterday. I feel the confidence of Mr. Xi that he is ready to open more to the world. This is what I suggest, that we should solve the problem by business community,
right,
by negotiation. WTO, China joined WTO for 20 years or 70 years. I don't know the number. But the past 2 years, that I think we as a business, we as a country, we as the world, we have to review something.
Right.
But not because unbalanced things, we stop it.
You've been calling for something called EWTP.
Yeah.
What is that?
This is what I would talk about, is that the WTO was great, but they mainly designed for developed countries, big companies. There's no opportunity for small business. We want to build up a EW, Electronic World Trade Platform, to support young people, small business, thanks through mobile phones, internet, they can sell and buy across the board. And the other thing is that WTO is a very interesting organization. When you put the Doha round, when you put 200 government officers in a one room, ask them to agree on something, it's impossible. I can never imagine that they can agree on something together. Business should be designed by business people. So we believe EWTP should be something that the business people sit down together, agree on something, negotiate on something, and get endorsement from the government.